Hello everybody, this is MangaGamer's may call me, and welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry Watanagashi Part 20. So let's just begin with the presumably final chapter? I don't know, I was wrong last time, so let's just begin. I saw a ceiling that I was familiar with. Though I was groggy from sleep, I did notice that I was in my futon, like I was every morning. I looked at my clock, and despite having turned in so late last night, I'd awoken at precisely the same moment I always had. I'm so low on sleep, but I guess you could really get up at the same time every day. The secrets of the human body never cease to amaze me. I never wake up at the same time every day. If I went back to sleep like this, I would definitely not be waking up again. I spurred myself on and slipped out of the futon. Ooh. Mom asked me about last night at breakfast. Apparently we, too, had gotten on a call if we had knew where Rika-chan and Satoko were, and Mom vaguely understood that something serious was happening. So then you were away last night with all your friends looking for them? Until about 3, I think. Yeah. Did you find them? Rika-chan and Satoko-chan, I mean. I really bit into my toast. It really didn't have any taste. Just then, we heard the chime go ding-dong. I looked up at the clock and saw that it was about 5 minutes past my regular meeting time with Rena. It was her at the door. Good morning. Did you get any sleep? Did you? I think I slept for a few hours. You could probably count them on chicken's toes, so... Rena seemed pretty sleep-deprived as well. There was something missing from her usual spirit. Are you going to school? Yeah, I think it would be better that way, she said, smiling a bit stiffly. Rena's probably worrying her heart about those two as well. Even so, she wanted to go to school. If you stayed to home today, I think you'd just be worrying non-stop and sleeping. I don't want that, so let's go to school together. Alright, wait just a moment. I'll get ready. I was just a little happy about Rena mustering that much consideration for me. Rena's one of the best characters, so... We went to the place we usually meet up with Miam, but she was nowhere to be found. We were a little bit late today, so she thought she'd be waiting for us. I guess Mi-chan couldn't wake up today. Huh. Yeah, that's right. That's right. For her, it wasn't just yesterday. She was up all night looking for the mayor the night before last, too. We waited for a bit. Time passed until it got to the point where it was okay for us to go on alone, and we exchanged glances. What do we do? I don't know which one of us saying that, so I'm going to say that in my regular voice. What do we do? Wait a little longer? At that point, my brain, which had finally been woken up by the morning air, recalled the ominous words Oishi-san had left me last night. The leaders of the 3 families were disappearing one after the other. And next, it might be the Sonozaki's leader. Could Mion had... No, that couldn't be. Let's go. Let's have her sleep for today. Rena gave me a pat on the back. Mion. She's still here, right? Did you say something? Oh, nothing. I was just talking to myself. Let's get moving. The 2 of us headed to school by ourselves. On the way, we saw a bunch of our classmates accompanied by their parents. It even looked like some of them were being taken to school by car. Surprisingly, the principal was also standing at watch at the school gate. I'd never seen that before. Good morning. Good morning. The principal was bound to our classmates' guardians. The wooden sword leaning next to him was a little ominous. Mabaru-kun, good morning. Ryugun, good morning. Good morning. Your teacher has something important to say, so head straight to your classroom. Alright. Rena and I said nothing. The matters that only existed at night had finally crawled out into the sunlight. That's what it felt like. Well, yeah, 2 kids went missing, so that's perfectly understandable what the adults are doing. Good morning, everyone. The hushed conversation that had been spreading for a while all disappeared like an illusion the moment our teacher walked in through the door. Silence dominated the classroom. The principal came in with our teacher as well. This was clearly not a normal morning. Well, yeah, two of your classmates went missing. First, the principal has something important to tell everyone. Go ahead, Mr. Principal. The principal cleared his throat and approached the dais. I'm sure some of you already know this. The classroom was dead silent. Everyone was staring at Rika-chan's and Satoko-chan's empty seats. The principal briefly and simply declared that Rika-chan and Satoko had gone missing. There wasn't a single person in the classroom who didn't already know. There seemed to be many, however, who couldn't accept it as the truth. It had been confirmed to them now by the principal's words. There were sobs throughout the classroom, and I heard a kid crying. It suddenly spread throughout the classroom. The big-hearted principal wasn't able to keep his cool either. Oh, okay, everyone, pay attention. From today on, your parents and guardians will be taking you to school. For those of you parents who can't do so, you will be coming here in groups. I made a handout, so read it carefully and be sure to show it to your parents. Understand? The teacher's voice was a little abrasive. Not even she could conceal the strain she felt from this unprecedented abnormal situation. You should have just canceled school today. However, Rona told me that school is also like a nursery for the students whose parents both worked, and some of them wouldn't want school to be canceled. Well then, let's begin the lesson. Class president? She's absent, I see. Then whoever's on day duty, let me hear it. All rise! The feeling of wanting to maintain an everyday atmosphere, even if only in school, precisely because our lives have been messed up, was something I agreed with at this point. Yeah. Things are really gonna get messed up in the story by now. Oh, school's over. That was quick. As for the teacher who always had her lunch in the staff lounge, she ate in the classroom today. I had a laugh at her curry bento, which was just a rumor until now, but there was nobody to laugh with me. Rena brought her chair and lunch over to my seat. Today, it was only the two of us. The fact that we didn't need to drag any other desks over was sad. I'm sleepy. Yeah. I don't feel like sleeping anymore, though. In fact, I'm jealous that people could sleep at a time like this. I got nerves still. You're right. I was sleepy this morning, but my drowsiness has dissipated ever after coming to school and constantly feeling the incredible tension. Rena's bento box didn't have the usual luster. That was to be expected. Okay, before I move on, I'm gonna say one thing about the anime. They did not really get a lot of insight into what was going on with the characters during the things, but that's because they're only having a 24 episode time limit. But I kind of really like how much in detail the games really go about the psyche of Keiichi, since we don't really see the other characters until later on, because in the first 4 chapters is just from Keiichi's point of view, while I think in the rest of the chapters it's from different points of view. Some in Rena, some in Mion, some in Shion, some in a police officer's point of view. I really like that how they do that in the Higurashi visual novels, and it makes for a really interesting story that I don't think many people will get from much other places. So that's why I really like the Higurashi the visual novels, and that's why I'm going to keep on doing these for my channel, since I love them, and I love Higurashi. That was to be expected. Rena was up for a long time last night too. She wouldn't have time to make her lunch beforehand, since it's not like she would have gotten up early this morning. Grab anything you want. Go ahead. You can admit that my bento is better today. Oh, that was me. not Rena. That sounded like Rena would say it. Oh, okay. Then I'll have some. Wow, a chikuwa roll with purella and cheese. That's interesting. Rena, yours might have ready-made food in it, but it's pretty good too. I realized the two of us were desperately trying to brighten the afternoon mood to its usual level as much as we could. I looked around the classroom, and it seemed like we were the only ones trying to do so, surrounded as we were by gloominess. Just the two of us sharing our lunches, like this. It's sort of like something. Oh. Our laughter grew quieter. I was the first one to mess up. Sorry. I'm sorry. No, it's okay. It's not your fault. Our chopsticks both stopped moving. We couldn't keep it up anymore. Rika-chan, Satoko. I wonder where they went. Those words might have sounded too miserable. Everyone was thinking it, using roundabout ways to address the topic, but I came out and said it. I heard her catch her breath. Yesterday, while you were gone, I heard a bunch of things, so I'll tell you what I know, okay? Sorry again about last night. Go ahead. At that time, since they arrived for support, Rena was helping the Lady Society cook the miso soup we had. They reported all the information the villagers had gathered, and Rena said she overheard it. They didn't know anything important though, did they? Rika-chan and Satoko went home after school and then apparently went somewhere on their bikes, but other than that, Mia told me that yesterday. We had no clue. Yeah. The police also said they probably went on their bikes to go play somewhere as soon as they got home. If they went out to play somewhere on their bikes right after getting home, they might have gotten into town. So I guess they concluded that they disappeared while in Okamiya. The police were saying how they were going to expand their search to Okamiya in the morning. Damn. In town. It made sense why we couldn't find them even though we searched all Himizawa then. Still, something didn't fit. I had no basis for thinking that, but it was just a gut feeling. I revealed something to Rika-chan that was likely important to her that day. And Rika-chan told me to leave it to her. And what did she say? Oh right. If she didn't work hard, then something bad might happen to the dog too, I think. With all the talk about dogs and cats, I still didn't have the faintest idea what she really meant, but it might have been Rika-chan's way of saying that this was a race against time. Damn it! I selfishly pushed my anxiety on Rika-chan and tried to run away. When I thought about it, I should have run back to her. I should have asked her about the dogs and the cats. The more I think back on it, I really fucked up. Anyway, I don't think Rika-chan was in a situation where she would just go off and play somewhere. Of course, I didn't have the evidence or conviction to base on that. It was just a hunch. I don't think she would go to oh wait, I think that might have been Keiichi. Oops. I don't think she would go in town. You think so too, Keiichi-kun? I agree. Rika-chan and Satoko must have disappeared in Himizawa. I looked back at Rena and startled. I could hear the conviction in those words. Without replying to my gaze, she took her bento box and went into the hallway. I'm going to rinse this out. She timed that in the way that broke off the conversation. Suddenly, I got the feeling that the next thing she would have to say would be hard to say aloud in the classroom. I hurriedly grabbed my bento box and followed her. Rena didn't go to the kitchenette, but rather to the water fountains out back, where students seldom went. The water flowed down onto our bento boxes. During that time, Rena didn't say a word. Then after making sure there was no other students around, she finally opened her mouth to speak. The whole thing about Rika-chan and Satoko going to town to play and then disappearing, that didn't make sense for some reason, so I decided to investigate a little bit myself. Who did you ask? What did you ask them about? I asked the Lady Societies all kinds of things. There was a lot of tofu in the miso soup yesterday, remember? The old lady from the Tomida's shop came, too. The Tomida's tofu shop. Oh, I remember. That was one of the stores on the road leading to the hospital. Wow. Okay. That was an inappropriate time for a burp. Wow. Yeah, I apologize. Let's keep on going. That was a little bit embarrassing. Those huge lamps of tofu dancing in the bathtub, like cistern, always looked nice and refreshing. The old lady says she remembers Satoko-chan stopping to buy some... Oh! The old lady says she remembers Satoko-chan going to buy tofu there on her way home from school. Tofu? Well, it's on the way home, right? How's that a clue? Just listen. Do you remember when we went to Rika-chan's house? Rena stepped away from the sinks and spread her arms wide to recreate the space of Rika-chan's room. There was a pot on her gas cooker, and there was some miso soup in it. I think there was probably about half of it inside. The rest was in the refrigerator. They must have been planning to make chilled tofu. It was on a plate in a plastic wrap. As Rena explained, she walked around as if she was really going through Rika-chan's room. Still, Rena, why does this matter? Keiichi-kun, when you make miso soup, you put the tofu in last. That means Rika-chan, or Satoko-chan, whoever was cooking was standing there making it up until before dinner time. Right up until dinner time? Wasn't everyone saying that their bikes weren't around, so they must have gone somewhere to play by themselves? The trash in the countertop bin was put in there really awkward to me too. Rika-chan makes most of their food and lunches, but occasionally Satoko-chan does it too. So Satoko-chan was cooking that night. So that means that Satoko at least didn't go somewhere to play? She was preparing for dinner? Yeah, when I took a look at the rice cooker and there was rice for two still in there. So she made dinner for both of them, but neither of them ate it. Is that it? Rena nodded. So next I looked in the fridge, and there was some chilled tofu made from the other half that they bought. That's not all either. There's a whole bunch of plates with side dishes for dinner, and all of them were in plastic wrap. I usually put plastic wrap in things that you could have leftovers for the next day. My mom does it all the time too, using them in breakfast or lunch. That's right. You'll use plastic wrap to save leftovers for later. So the fact that they were in the fridge means that they didn't plan on eating them that night at least. Is that what it means? Keiichi-kun, think a little harder. Their dinner was totally untouched and wrapped up. What do you think that means? Well, that means they didn't need to eat dinner anymore. So they would have gone out to eat or order takeout. It must have been really sudden, too. If they had decided to go do that beforehand, they wouldn't have made anything but. It was dinner for two of them. That means when Satoko-chan was making their dinner, they really thought they were going to eat it until right before they didn't. So then, the theory about the two of them going out to play and disappearing is wrong? Yep. They disappeared right after making dinner and right before they ate it. Probably around 7 o'clock. Where would they have gone at a time like that by themselves without eating? That's obviously where this is leading. Keiichi-kun, do you remember? On their foil table there were things like soy sauce and a chopstick holder. There might have been something like that. I didn't remember. The container for the soy sauce, it was empty. There wasn't even a drop left. Chilled tofu wouldn't taste good without it. So I looked under the sink for a larger bottle of soy sauce they have. You sure know a lot about where they keep stuff. I've been to Rika-chan's house before and cooked for them. Rena cleared her throat, her face returning to a serious expression. I need to clear my throat when they clear their throats, right? When I opened the cabinet, the big bottle of soy sauce wasn't there at all. It wasn't there? What does that mean? Everything I'm going to say from here on is just Rena's idea. So please, listen until the end without saying anything. Last night, Satoko was making dinner like normal. Rika-chan usually watched TV until the food was ready, so she was probably laying down watching a variety show or something. Satoko put the tofu in the miso soup, and right when dinner was about to be ready, she noticed that they were right out of soy sauce. So Rika-chan, who had nothing to do, brought the big bottle of soy sauce to a neighbor's house to borrow theirs. I don't really know my neighbors that well. Would people be willing just to give her soy sauce? Yeah, it's not all that uncommon in Himizawa. So Rika-chan rode her bike to get some soy sauce. No matter how long Satoko-chan waited though, Rika-chan didn't come back. So then Satoko-chan called to the house where Rika-chan was going. Would Rika happen to be imposing on you? Something like that. The other person must have been replying with something like this. We have plenty of food here, so you should come too, Satoko-chan. Rika-chan has already eaten. I think that's how they called her out there. Satoko called Rika a few... Sorry. Satoko called Rika a few names in private and wrapped up the dinner she had made for them. She put it in the fridge so that she could use it for breakfast and lunch the next day. And Satoko got her bag too, and headed for the house where Rika-chan was. Okay, but this is already pretty strange. You don't normally make so much food that you can give it to people who suddenly arrived at your house. A friend in housework would normally make so much food that she could feed 2 extra people. Could it have been a coincidence that they had made too much? It's still unthinkable. Rena flatly denied me. Since Rika-chan knew that Satoko-chan had worked really hard to make dinner for them, didn't she? No matter what kind of food she was offered, she wouldn't let Satoko-chan's dinner go to waste. That was all only circumstantial evidence in Rena's guesswork. Even so, it was all extremely convincing. There was only one way to hope that we had to topple the situation and bear a fit of clues. Then Rena. Where did Rika-chan go to get soy sauce? That was the heart of it. It would have been somewhere she'd be comfortable with asking for soy sauce. It's somewhere Satoko wouldn't think it was suspicious that she had been invited for dinner. So who was it? Rika slowly shook her head. That's all for Rena's guesses. These are all just ideas, okay? Keep them a secret from police. What is there to hide? Even only half of what you say is right, it should be a good clue for all of this. Keiichi-kun, this all means suspecting someone from Himizawa. We can't suspect anyone without a really good reason. I saw a few girls coming over to rinse out their bento boxes. Rena cut the conversation short there and returned to the classroom. I stayed there alone, my body bathed in lively voices. I stayed there alone, my body bathed in the lively voices of the Higurashi. Higurashi is cicada in Japanese. Let's think about this my own way. Rena had barely any information to go on, and yet she reasoned out that much. So there should be something that only I, who knew far more than Rena did, could deduce. We just hadn't said this last night, but this incident was definitely occurring within Himizawa. Rena might not want to believe it, but it's basically given that the culprit is from someone from the village. The trigger for everything was the... Read slower, Michael. The trigger for everything was when the 4 of us trespassed in the forbidden storehouse. Somebody saw us going in there. For the culprits, breaking the taboo was a crime punishable by death. So that night, Tomotaki-san and Takano-san were sacrificed. There were 2 left. Shion and myself. However, before the culprits bore their fangs on Shion, they went after the mayor, to whom Shion confessed her sin. Next, they went for Rika-chan, for whom I confessed my sin. And what about Satoko? Just a stray bullet? By itself, Rika-chan being sacrificed after I told her everything was mortifying. But Satoko, who was sacrificed for no reason, wasn't that all more regrettable? Everything was my fault. Who would be the next to disappear? Would it be Shion and me next time? Why weren't the culprits going for Shion and me right away, though? They had enough power to erase the mayor and Rika-chan, then why not just get rid of Shion and me? If they went for us, well, I wouldn't like it, but I could still tolerate it. What I shouldn't forgive was them getting rid of those who we confessed to. Now that I think of it. Yesterday, Shion said something alarming. She felt like somebody was watching her. So then, was someone watching me as well? Strangely though, I hadn't felt anything like that until now. Even though it was the root cause of everything, I never had that impression once. Maybe that was simply because Shion was more cautious than me and I was just careless. That's another story though. Let's get back on track. Why weren't the corporates going after me and Shion? I felt like that's where the key to this lay. Could it be... Was I making a big assumption that I should have been? I thought, but I couldn't come up with an answer. The one thing I understood was that I was a concerned party to this case, and that I had the duty to watch over it until everything got resolved. Oh, 1 second. I apologize for that. I needed to pop my neck. I had like a knot right there. I had to. Yeah. I heard the ring of the bell declaring the end of the lunch break. Would somebody else disappear tonight? If nobody else did, then I wanted them to get rid of me tonight for sure, and then put an end to all of this. Sean's hysterical voice on the phone last night came back to mind. They plan to murder those close to us, make us miserable as possible, and only then they would kill us. Mabaru-kun, lunch break is over. Go back to the classroom. At the principal's arguing, I returned to the classroom, which was quiet as the streets at night. And class is over. There were a lot of parents picking up their children after school. It was just like a kindergarten. The students whose parents didn't come went home as a group. We left school with everyone else, following the assigned route. While leaving, nobody said anything funny. They all looked exhausted. They all looked like exhausted mountaineers silently marching through the mountains. As we went, one left, and then another. And in the end, it was just Rena and me. I was supposed to escort Rena all the way to her house, but she declined. Will you be alright? It's not safe to go alone. It'll be just as dangerous for you to go home by yourself than bringing me back, Keiichi-kun. It's light out anyway. I'll be fine. I see. Then be careful, okay? Yeah. Isn't that a policeman? Rena pointed towards my house. There was a car stopped in front of it. Fom out of that car. Fom. Oh my god, Manga Gamer, you need to get on this right now. Fom out of the car. Oh my god, why? Fom out of the car. I know I made a bunch of mistakes myself while doing this read-through today, but that one takes the cake, and that was not intentionally done by me, that was in the game! From out of the car came Oishi-san. He must have been waiting for my return to ambush me. Oishi-san started walking over with that annoying grin. Rena, you should go. If you get involved with them, you'll be bad at grammar. But, what do the police want with you? Rena's a good person. Even when I made a fuss over Higurashi-chan's disappearance, she never asked me why I did. She could have been suspecting me ever since then, but that would have been okay. Even so, she still hadn't asked me. I could only think about the spelling mistake. I'm sorry. That was a terrible mistake on their part. I don't know how. How can you leave that in the game? I'm sorry, but how? Even so, she still hadn't asked me anything. She didn't try to pressure me into revealing the truth. I'm not the culprit. I know that. That said, I can't say that I'm totally uninvolved with this incident. Rena simply listened, smiling like she always did. Even though I insinuated that I was related to the incident, she didn't look at me as though she was looking at something dirty. I'll tell you next time. I was gonna cut out the video, but I decided not to. Okay. I'm looking forward to it. Get going then. Rena gave me a slight bow and trotted away, leaving me alone with Oishi-san, who walked over. Hello. Welcome home, my bar-san. Hello. It looks like your parents are here. Was I in a bit of a spot? He came all the way to my house? I could only thank my good fortune that my parents were absent. Since neither of them were around at this hour, they'll probably be back late. I think Dad got called out on business. I don't think he'll be back until later. I see. Well, that's convenient, I suppose. You can do this without giving your parents any strange ideas. Uchi-san pushed my back, prompting me to walk. It seemed like he wanted me to get in the car. Are you taking me to the police station? I wasn't the culprit, but I was the cause of everything. It would be weird if you wanted to investigate me. That kinda gave me a resigned feeling. No. I just don't want to stand around talking. We're just talking to cars, that's all. Come now, don't be shy. He opened the back door and urged me inside. If I got in, I wouldn't have a very easy time getting out. If I said no, however, then this man might really handcuff me and take me away. I couldn't refuse. I coldly accepted in good grace. Here we go. I think this is where shit happens. The inside of the car had been cooled so much that the air conditioner... The inside of the car had been cooled too much by the air conditioner, and there was a rusty smell coming from the filter, which must have been cleaned only rarely. Oh, is this too cold? I'll turn the car off. He turned off the engine and suddenly became quiet, and the voices of the Higurashi, with all their cool loneliness, stuck inside. It sounded to me like a chorus of voices, lamenting my exorbitant punishment for having harbored such foolish curiosity. For a few moments, while listening to the voices, I myself lamented. The days had been twisted and sordid since that night. Uchi-san, after waiting for me to voluntarily begin talking, lit a cigarette and listened to the Higurashi. The silence became deafening, and I was the only one who folded first. How's the investigation going? The investigation? Of what? There have been so many. Which one do you mean? All of them. Well, alright then. They're officially secret investigations, and we're under immediate blackout, but I'll let you in on them. Then, shall we start from the first incident? The freak deaths of Tomitaki-san and Taguro-san on the night of Watanagashi. On this one, embarrassingly enough, we haven't made any progress at all. First of all, Tomitaki-san. There were indications on his body that he was assaulted by a group of people, but we have no explanation calling out his own throat and dying. We suspect an overdose from a stimulator or something, but we didn't detect anything. What about Takano-san? The same. We're in the dark. Autopsy for those who burned to death are real tough. We believe she was doused in gasoline after she was strangled. That one. Oh. Man, I'm having so many issues this episode. Maybe because they misspelled from to from. Oh my god. I'm keeping that one. I am using that one. I'm sorry, Manga Gamer. I love your company, but you should not be making mistakes like that, okay, guys? That one falls under the Gifu Prefecture's police department. They hadn't been very cooperative. Oh, that one falls under the Gifu Prefecture's police department. They haven't been very cooperative, even though it happened in our territory. Oh, that's not really relevant, though. So the police didn't know anything other than the fact that the victims died inexplicably. Nonetheless, the times when the incidents occurred had been gently placed right after the festival ended. It's been uncertain in Takano's case, but it's likely possible that she was murdered about the same time as Tomitaki-san, then dumped in the mountains of Gifu. Why would they bring a dead body all the way to the mountains? They should have just brought Tomitaki-san out there too. Oh my, Barbaro-san. You're quite sharp, you know that? Of course, I do believe that there's something we need to be attentive of. There are a bunch of suspicious things, but this is about all I can tell you at this point. How about the mayor? Have there been any clues? Having exhausted that topic, I changed the subject. Otherwise, he might turn the conversation on me. We investigated his movements on the day he disappeared. We didn't find anything that could provide any clues, but I'll tell you about it anyway. The mayor, Kichiro Kumiyoshi. Apparently, he was suffering from severe hemorrhoids. People who lived a long time have an unusual amount of pride. So the mayor had been telling anyone he was going to a proctologist at a certain university in Shishibone. On that day he disappeared. He had an appointment for a checkup, so he went out first thing in the morning. Even I knew about big even even I knew about big hospitals, like university hospitals had a really long waiting time. Apparently police would get in line people would get in line police people God. Apparently people would get in line for hours beforehand, even if they had an appointment. His exam ended at 1 p.m. After that, he had a late meal in the hospital restaurant and passed the time reading a magazine. We know this because of a receipt we found in his wallet at his house. There was nothing suspicious at all about that. That day, he planned to go to a meeting in the assembly hall in the evening. He was supposed to return with plenty of time to spare, but while he was on the train coming back, there was an accident. It seemed like it delayed him a bit, and he only got back to his house right before the meeting was scheduled to start. The family witnessed a very hectic mayor leaving to go to the assembly hall at the shrine. What was the meeting about? He disappeared on his way back home, right? The three families and essential members of the town assembly were at the meeting. We think they were discussing how to deal with the serial freak death incidents that happened again this year. So then on his way home, the old man who treated Shion like his own daughter. He was a dependable person who encouraged Shion whenever she felt pressured by anxiety, and yet Shion's painful voice struck me right in the heart. Huh? Huh? What's the matter? I was thinking about how strange my own voice sounded. What was it that just surprised me? I squeezed my head with my hands to try and drag out what I had only realized for a split second. Remember, Keijimabara, you just realized something. Something important. The night of the Watanagashi, that was when everything started. That night, Takuro-san and Tomitaki-san died. The next morning, the word is that it spread throughout Himizawa. They had planned to talk about it during the evening meeting. The mayor, however, had an appointment at the hospital, and as planned, he went without telling his family. He got a checkup at the hospital. Ate something. Then there was an unexpected delay on his train ride back. When he returned, the meeting was about all ready to start. The mayor changed clothes, got on his bicycle, and hurried to the assembly hall as fast as he could at the shrine. Wow, okay, I need to read slowly. From when he heard about the incident on the night of Watanagashi, until then he showed up at the assembly hall. Everything he was doing that day was done in secret. During that time, nobody found out that. He went to the hospital alone. He ate alone. And he got on the train alone. That meant he had absolutely no contact with anyone else. You couldn't even call him on the phone. Okay. What does that mean, Keijimabara? Why does that matter, Keijimabara? Kei-chan, what should I do? What's wrong? Tell me. We're not keeping secrets from each other, right? Old man Kimiyoshi, I told him everything. I told the old man Kimiyoshi everything. That night, I told the mayor that we snuck into the original storehouse. Also that someone saw us and was out to get us. Right. What then? Old man Kimiyoshi didn't get angry. He smiled and then told me I was probably sorry about that. There was no way I'd be bemoaned that anyway. He was really smiling. He told me to leave it to him. Sweat burst out of my body like bullets. They became one long strand and slid down, right down from my forehead to my nose, and fell. So then, what does it mean? Hey, Keijimabara, we're playing dumb. When did she tell him? I kind of knew that was coming because there was no time. There was no time for her to tell him. So, yeah. Shion said she learned from the incident from a phone call her father made that morning. The mayor left the house first thing in the morning for his appointment at the hospital. He didn't tell anyone where he was going. Nobody knew about him going to the university hospital. Furthermore, his train way back to his house was delayed by an accident. As soon as he got home, he rushed out to the assembly hall. Then at the meeting of the assembly hall began. It continued until it was dark out. Then everyone left. Nobody saw him after the meeting was over. He just disappeared. Which meant... Mamoru-san, are you alright? If you're too hot, I can turn the air conditioner back on. Another part of me was messing with my thoughts, demanding I should not think any more. Demanding that I not think any further than that. My head was pounding violently, and the fluids packed inside it all blended together until nothing made sense. It was just about as settled, and yet it had been smashed and belted in a blink of an eye, no longer to retain its shape. Mamoru-san, are you in there? Oji-san lit another cigarette. There was yet another cigarette butt placed in the ashtray. Was it displaying the passage of time? Had my thoughts been frozen over for that long? I try to tell you everything I know. In return, feel free to tell me anything you want, my bar-san. My mind had become a gigantic oozing mess. Wait. What was Oishi doing the whole time Kenji was spacing out? What was he doing? I don't know. My mind became a gigantic oozing mess. My brain felt like it had been totally minced by the blades of the blender, and I couldn't think. No, don't climb up again. If there's any misunderstandings, I'd like to clear them up first. I don't think you're the culprit here or anything. Ushi-san gave his best attempt at an adult smile. I know the four of you stuck into the ritual storehouse that night. Everyone in the village heard rumors about it the next day. That in itself returns that we should take you in for trespassing, but that isn't the problem. It's what was inside. What was inside that made people who stuck it in there end up as sacrifices? There wasn't anything. As soon as I said it, I regretted confirming my presence there, but I knew it didn't matter anymore. Was there really nothing in there? I mean, everyone who went inside being sacrificed one by one, you know. Even the mayor and Rika-chan, who switched the lock on the door, was sacrificed. What the hell was inside that could have caused such terrible things to happen? I was far too tired of keeping quiet about this. Perhaps that was Oishi-san's goal all along. Then again, that didn't matter anymore. There was a lot of torch devices that were used a long time ago. I looked around and wrapped them with everyone. Was that really all? That was really all. There was nothing terrible in there that would make you keep silent. Like a pile of psychoactive drugs? Maybe a secret poppy workshop? Perhaps there was mountains of Soviet or Chinese handguns? There weren't any suspicion-winning boxes or containers packed in there. There was nothing. It exaggerates what Uchi-san was hoping for, but I felt like, in a way, there were plenty of terrible things hidden in there. From the perspective of someone who viewed the storehouse as sacred, whether or not I thought I had been seeing some crazy things that didn't matter in the slightest. They forced us, broke the taboo, punished us. That should have been what happened. We put in a request for a church warning, thinking that there might have been some secrets hidden in that storehouse. It's been the sabotage of the century. They said it would be an insult to religious figures and something about the right of free religion in the Constitution. Jeez. That's why I didn't want to have any other recourse but to ask you since you went in there. There was really just rusty torture equipment. Nothing else stood out. Tomotage-san and Targa-san will only kill us punished for having broken the taboo. I didn't have an answer for the only part. I suppose I wouldn't bother hiding anymore. You're the only one to escape harm so far. Everyone but you has disappeared, and yet you alone are safe. What's the difference between you and them that would protect you but bring harm to the others? That's what I want to know. There was something wrong with what Oishi-san was saying. You alone? You alone? What? Wait a second. What do you mean by you alone? I'm saying, that you alone have been left alive, right? Out of the 4 people who tiptoed in the storehouse for the ritual implements, I mean, the only one left alive? Hold on. Shion was still... Jiro Tamataki-san and Mio Takano-san died that night, and Shion Sonozaki disappeared the next day. Only you are still safe and sound at this point. Why only you? I'm saying that's what I want to know. Shion disappeared? That's impossible! I unintentionally raised my voice, but I didn't care about that. Tamataki-san died, Takano-san died, and Shion disappeared? When did she disappear? What is this guy talking about? Well now, I thought you were long since aware of this. This is the first I heard of it. Shion disappeared? When? Well, going back a bit, she disappeared the day after Watanagashi. Going back a bit? Stop saying stuff I don't understand. Shion Sonozaki spends the night at a relative's house depending on her mood on any given day, so no one thought of much not knowing where she was. She frequently takes days off from school too. Her teacher's been pretty troubled by it. I didn't ask about any of that. I'm asking you, when did Shion disappear? I told you, it was the day after Watanagashi. The fluids in my body reversed in direction. All reversed in direction. I lost my sense of balance, and everything I could see started to warp and twitch out of shape. I simply couldn't endure it. Hang on. Shion already disappeared? Then... That night, that call, that phone call, who was that? She called me every night. She encouraged me. We vowed that we'd do our best to live on and not to be erased. Yes, that should have been the phone call with Shion. Should have been a phone call with Shion. She took breaks from class like it was nothing, and her family wouldn't listen when I told them, so I didn't bother calling school in the end. So it ended up taking quite a bit before we realized she disappeared. I felt a stomach pain like needles were being pushed into every pore of my body. It started on my back and began spreading throughout the rest of me. Hold on. Was that onesie with Keiichi and Shion at the library before or after the Watanagashi? I think that was before the Watanagashi, because if it was after Watanagashi, she was noticeably seen after the festival. So... I guess that scene was before the festival? I don't remember, but I have a feeling that was after the festival. I'll check up on that after this episode, but I thought it was after. Maybe not. When it completely covered the surface of my skin, it began to warm its way inside my stomach as well. Don't you remember? We talked about it at the library. We talked at the library. I knew it! We talked at the library the day after the Watanagashi. Shion-chan was there then. That was the last we saw of her. No one knows where she's been since. That can't be. That day, Uji had only caught me, and she unbounded away, lying that she needed to go to work. Didn't she call me that night? Her job was at a restaurant called Asian Ward, right? She hadn't been there since that day. She's completely absent ever since. The person at the restaurant couldn't get in touch with her. He was really worried. That can't be. No, it's only circumstantial evidence, but after she left us at the library, before she made it to work, I think that's appropriate to consider her having disappeared during that time. Right after she ran away without me? It seems like you didn't know. Maybe you had said something, sir. Maybe if you had said something earlier, this would have gone more quickly. Now you understand, right? You're the only one left. You're the only survivor of the 4 who stepped into the ritual storehouse. It couldn't be. It just couldn't be. If something else happens, it would happen to you. I need you to understand that, my Bara-san. It can't be. It can't be. She had already disappeared? That couldn't be. I talked to her the day before yesterday. I talked to her last night. She was going to call me again today. That was she on the phone. Shion's long since disappeared. Next will be you. And then, who was on the phone those past nights? Who was on the phone those past nights? Who was on the phone those past nights? I can't be! Oh my god, that is a good cliffhanger to end this episode, guys. Oh my god, yes. Yes, perfect timing, Higurashi. Yes. Alright, so I'm gonna end this episode right here with you guys. Leave me a like, leave a comment. What else do you guys need to do? Leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you all next time. Leave a like, leave a comment, and I will see you all with my awkward smile and my awkward moving next time. Okay.